We are back in Satisfactory. Last time we were playing, we were in the process of setting up a giant motor factory. And I believe we were pretty good progress, more than halfway done. Now, what we need to do is we need to move this power pole to somewhere less in the way. So it's connected to that and that miner and that large power pole and that large power pole. Alright, so we're going to take that out. Then we are going to grab you, send you just further over that way. So you still connect up with that. And then we bring a small power pole back along this way, which hooks up with that and hooks up with that, and probably also with that coal, if I had to guess. There we go. Oh, so we need to get these set up. So that's something that I had put off. So that's Caterium, and it goes to that. So you go there. You can come down and then up there. Alright, so that should be all of this re-established. Yeah, alright. So now we can get up to actually building this, which is the next floor up, I believe. Yeah, so it's this floor that we're working on. And this is the problem of taking more than one day to do something, is I have all these holes and I don't remember what they all do. So we're going to have to refresh ourselves. I believe we were setting up wire production. So the steel production are these ones. So it's the ones out on this branch over here are all steel. That row is all steel, and that row is all steel. So sort of a little situation like that. Alright, so we're gonna head down here and figure out where those go. The answer is they seem to all go into that row. And I think all of this stuff is wire. Alright, so I think it is just this one row that is the steel. I guess we will see when we power this on if things go horribly wrong. Which hopefully won't happen. We should be able to tell before that, just based on how the math works out. So these machines go even further down. I believe they fit in Mark 1 belts. Okay, there. And then there. And there. And there. Okay, that last one was wrong. Okay, even more wrong. It's there. Off center for some reason from all the others, but I'm sure there's a good reason for that. It's probably a different speed. Alright, so we get all those down. Then we go over here. And we're going to have to expand that floor out. And throw some explosives at some trees. There we go. And then that one. Alright. And now hopefully the bottom floor will be big enough to manage all of this stuff. A lot of what I do here is just sort of pushing off problems for later. Which means that the very beginning of the factory often winds up a bit of a mess. But it shouldn't be too terrible, hopefully. Alright, so then these all come down. Alright, just a couple more. And you. And you. Alright, so that should be all of the steel brought down. Which means we now have the wire to deal with. And that has to be dealt with on this floor. And all these... Is it just me, or are these, like, insanely irregular? What's going on with those? What was I doing last time? I believe on this floor I had batched the wire up into groups of 90? Right? So these are like 30, 60, 90, and that's a Mark II belt. Or is supposed to be, probably. Okay, this one didn't even get a thing. And I think these are supposed to be Mark II. So let's pop that in. Alright, I need to confirm this because something weird is going on with these. It's entirely possible that I have simply misremembered numbers somewhere. So these front ones are batches of 30. The back ones are batches of 40. So the front ones, when I'm building them up into groups of 3, that is causing these to all be 90, right? And then 30, 30, 30. So I need to upgrade all of these. Alright, then we get that, and that, and that. And then the back two are different. These are batches of 40. And I did seem to remember to make these Mark II. Just gonna check all of them real quick. Yeah, okay. So we have 3 groups of 90 there, and then this extra one. So this one, all the way over here, is only 60. So we have 3 groups of 90 there, 3 groups of 90 there, the extra 60 there. Then we have 3 groups of 120 here, 3 groups of 120 there, the extra 80 over there. Alright, I basically remember what's going on now. So we can drop down here. And we have 1, 2, 3 groups of 90 and the extra 60. Then we have 3 groups of 90. Then we have 3 groups of 180, 3 groups of 120, 3 groups of 120, and the extra 80 are there. Alright, so now we pop the foundries in, and it would be really convenient actually if I could get the foundries to just like work. Like if I put the foundry like there, let's say. And then I do that. Alright. Does that work from this side though? Yes, it does. So we can do that. And now the foundry is just output directly up there. And copper alloy ingot. Not what we wanted. What was it? Oh, it was an assembler, not a foundry. One of those machines that takes 2 inputs and gives an output. Alright, we're gonna have to figure out the spacing for these again. Alright, so we get that there. And let's see if this snaps in. It does. Fused wire. Alright. So that's that. It takes copper and deuterium. And I mean, hopefully if we squeeze things in, we'll have enough space for the other row. So this would come down here and just barely fit. Alright, apparently I'm a genius. So we put that in. We snap that to it. And then we just have to extrapolate these ones out. So you can come over here, and we just have to line these up properly. So that's lined up that way. Now is it lined up this way? Like that. And there we go. Alright, then we just need to do the same thing one more time. Let's fill this space in. So you get lined up that way, then we drag you along there. And we get this. Oh, it's not rotated right. Dang it. Alright, so you're lined up that way. Then we push you over here. And in. And down you go. Alright, now we just do this again. Where it lines up with both of these, right? So like that. And then over this way. And in. And then like that. Over this way. And in. And then we attach those. And then we attach the inputs. Those go in there, then these go in next to them. Alright, there and there. Wait. Oh, did I just get turned around? Yeah, I just got a little turned around and thought that these machines were all backwards, but they are not. Everything is fine. Now we put in all of these. And those. Alright, so that is the easy half, where the inputs and the outputs just line up perfectly. Now we need to do the hard half. Also, we need to make sure that these are Mark II lifts. Yep, looks like they are. Alright, so we need to get 3 batches of 120 with a spare of 80 or 140. So we have 60 left over there, which we can easily do with just one of these underclocked. So how do we get 120? If we take 2 of these and merge them up, we get 180. We can then belt throttle them to 120 and 60. And so if we get 2 of those sets, so 4 total, then we can make 3 batches of 120. And then we would have, yeah, then that would be perfect. And then we would need another one of those, and then a batch of 140 as the special ones. Alright, so what we need is just a nice long line of these guys. And I might actually need this space. Ooh. Didn't know explosions actually physically sent you flying. That's fun. Alright, I missed the tree. Let's get a bit closer. I wonder if I can just blow up the top. Alright, so we have this. Oh no, it wasn't the explosion that sent me flying. It was this thing, wasn't it? Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? So how many of these do we need? We need to get 120, 240, 360, 720, 800 for that one, and 60 for that. So we need 860. 860 divided by 90 is almost 10. Somewhat as expected. Alright, so if we need 10 of these, then I think it would be best to place them off this way. And actually, this might be a problem with these coal nodes that I might conceivably want to use at some point. Where's the coal node I am using? Because, like, you really don't want to just, like, casually build over multiple pure nodes of coal. You want to at least have some way of accessing them. So let's make some portable miners and just stick them on so that we at least know that they're present and we can account for them when building. So miner mark 2, miner mark 2. Alright, now we go up here. And obviously that's definitely too tall. So we have out to here, which should still be plenty of space, probably. Might get a bit dicey with the floor below, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So we get... I mean, we don't even need that much space. We can probably build this like here, even. So we get those. Got a teleinfused wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, give me a little more space this way. 10. Alright, so we have 900 wire production here. Now we just need to make this into the right batches. So, these two merge up. So everything involving these is going to have to be Mark II belts because they're fast. So these two merge up to be 180. Then we need these to come down so we can access them. And because we're doing it this way, these can come across this way and just sort of make this into a channel for what we're doing here. So this is 180, and it is going to then immediately split and 120 will go that way. Okay, I mean, we're 30 seconds into this and we already are running out of space. Okay, better idea. If we merge 3 of these up into a single set, then we get 90 plus 90 plus 90 is 270, which is 1 full Mark III belt. And so I can take that 1 Mark III belt and I can split it. Alright, so 120 goes that way. 120 goes that way. We have 30 left over, which we'll do something with. Then we just need to do this another 2 times and sneak the belts around this other stuff that's going on. So this one can go this way. Sort of weird halfway between a production floor and a logistics floor. We have sort of a half logistics floor above, which is not helping matters much at all. Alright, then this can come around here and around to here, where it once again is going to split. So we get 120 that way, 120 that way, and 30 spare. Then we do that one more time with these ones. So they get a merger pointing that way, and you can just do your own thing, no merger needed. And then we have this Mark III belt, which comes along this way, then turns, and turns again. And now it splits. To take 20 that way, 20 that way, and have 30 extra. Now, my math seems to be messing with me a bit here, because... Right, no, we need 140 spare total. That is 90. The end result of these three is 90, which goes back up there, I guess. Yikes. And then this is 60. Alright, so one of these needs to not be full. So we need 80 there, 60 there. So we can easily force this one to be 60. All we have to do is go to this last one over here and say, congratulations, dude, you're 60. Then we put that on, we bring you up, and send you in. So that is that 60 dealt with. Then for the 80, each of these is 30, so we can merge them up to get 90, and just take 10 off of, say, this one. Oh, that makes the numbers weird. I don't really want to make the numbers weird. And I also really don't want to make the numbers weird for specifically one of them. But we might have to. Is there any amount of numbers that we can take off that makes this not weird? No, 85 is weird. 80 is weird. What if I like... No, that... Yeah, so we're just gonna have one weirdo. Not the worst thing in the world. That's gonna be mildly annoying to deal with. But so then this one is 90 plus 90 is 180 plus 80 is 260. So when 120 goes that way, 120 goes that way. Then, actually, I think this needs to be... these need to be smart splitters, I think. And priorities to left and right. Left, any, right, any, center, overflow, copy, paste, paste. Then we have 20 left over here, plus 30 is 80. And now we pop that up there. And we need to merge you up. And merge these two up. Okay, that's gonna be all weird. Let's move you further this way, I guess. Hopefully help make that less weird. And then this one comes around there, and then in. And why does that only want to go into the output? Oh, did I mess that up? So that's an output. That's an output. Oh, I see. This needs to be doing that one. Alright, so then we have 60 plus 80, 60 plus 20, and this goes up. And Boom. Done. Alright. That should basically be that for this floor. We need to come around here and put the holes on these. And then we need to do the resource processing, which is probably going to suck, because it's both very complicated, a lot of different things, and also cramped space, weird elevation stuff is probably going to happen. We'll have to see what we can do. Alright, so then these all go in. Feeding all of these. Alright, and done. Alright, so we have all that. Now we need to make steel, copper, and caterium to each of these. So yeah, each of these get copper and caterium. Everything that isn't stopping from this floor gets steel, and that's just those ones and those ones. So we have another logistics floor down here, which hopefully we won't need to use. But let's be real, we probably will at least a little bit to get the copper and caterium staggered nicely. Alright, so we just need to drag this around. And this isn't really much of a... This factory down here is a bit wonky in terms of the space we have. We're mostly going to be building over here, I guess, and then sending it over there on the logistics floor. Okay, that's probably still fine, though. So, I think for the... I think we'll just make all the things individually and then figure out how they need to be split after that. So, step 1, we need 500 iron ingots. Yes, 500 iron ingots and 500 coal to make the steel ingots, which we send up. And I believe we had decided to just do good old default recipe iron. Probably. So let's build all of this space out. And we can go up over here if we desperately need height. Can make this like a multiple floor situation over here, I guess. But let's start with the iron ingots. And production. Actually, I was probably going to use some basic, right? But I don't really... It's not necessary. I have the iron to do it without basic. And it would be a lot easier to just slap down a bunch of smelters. So let's just slap down a bunch of smelters. So how much do we need? If it's 500, then these are all 30, right? Iron ingots 30. Which means we need 10 would be 300. 15 would be 450. And so we're going to need like 17. I can just do the math. 500 divided by 30 is 16.6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 of these is going to be one full belt of iron. So I think it makes sense to have that be a row. And we can do speed balancing with this because these are 30 each, so it's very simple to do. You just put in the splitter, every other, and then these go into there. Like that. Now we put in a bunch of smart splitters along this way. And yeah, we need a bunch of these. There, there, there. Alright, now we're going to hook all of these up and get the settings set. Alright, so left, any, center, overflow. Copy, paste, 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 and then just do that. And in. Alright, so that should be all of these. I did remember to get these recipes set. Yes, I did. Alright. Then we get a second row. And I haven't quite thought about how I want to merge them up, so we're just going to leave some space. And have you rotate that way. That's plenty of space, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 plus 6 is 15, 16, 17. Alright, is that enough space to do basic stuff? Yes, and actually I've accidentally done something smart here, which is place these facing this way, which wasn't intentional, but does mean I have this space back here to hook them up to, which is going to be more convenient than trying to squeeze in the speed balancer back there. Alright, so we blow all that up. Then we do the same old speed balancing here. We're going to go every other. And that's that. And the last one is going to be a little bit weird because it's not a full machine, right? Because this doesn't have to be 30, it has to be, hang on, 30 times 16 is 480. So this one is 20. Now, okay, I think we solve this by just overfilling this a little bit. So if we were to send, what is it, 200 down here, or however much the maximum is, like if we were to spend exactly the right amount, then this last one would get slightly off numbers and be all messed up. Also, these splitters are sideways, which means I have to do all this again. Alright, so these all go back in, but facing out so that the speed balancer can access them more easily. Oh, actually, I know a better way of fixing it. I'll just underclock both of the last two to half. That'll work. Alright, so we get that, we get that, we get that. Now you get that, and that, and that, 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 and that. So now instead of this being set to 20, we're going to set this to 25, and we're going to set you to 25. So now if the exact right number comes through, then it'll still work. Alright, now we put the splitters in. And there they all go. Then they connect up. And across. Alright, so we have that. And we just need to get a belt of iron over here. So let's see, we are using that one. Actually, I'm going to use that one. And then this one, we're going to cut back all the way to there. And bring it around this way. Where it can safely go into that. Alright, so we have all of that. That's the iron production set up. Then the next thing we need is to convert this into steel. So we need to set up the steel foundries. Which, can they fit over this way? There's a decent amount of horizontal space before the slope becomes a problem. I've not done the math on how many steel foundries we need. So we're about to find out together. Alright. Steel ingots. Solid steel ingots is 60 per minute. We need 750. So 750 divided by 60 is 12.5 foundries. And it's 40 of each as input. So, the way this is going to work best is speed balancing them in batches of 3, which is 120, and then there'll be an additional 0.5 left over after the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and then the slope gets in the way. We have tons of space over this way that we can still use. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I need to make sure that we can actually get everything to access this. Blow up even more trees, including that one. Alright, so we have all of these, and we don't have a... technically, maybe we could do something down there. Let's dismantle that crash site debris. Can we do that down there for all of these? Yeah, maybe. I think we can probably do the coal that way, actually. That'll be helpful. Alright, so we just need to put in one of these. I really could have used one additional floor on this factory. It would be a good reason to work from the bottom up in the future. Alright, so those all come down here. And this last one over here is... I'm gonna call that barely fitting. It's only underground for a tiny bit. Alright, so we need to merge these into batches of 120. Or split them, technically. We're working backwards, so splitting and merging are sort of reversed. We also need to continue heading over that way, because this is half of them, right? Your YouTube just working? My YouTube says it's streaming. So I don't know if something is wrong, it must be on your end. Alright, so then we take the foundries, and we go not facing sideways. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and blow up some trees that are in the way. Completely miss all of them somehow. And that's the last half one. Alright, so now we put these in. And there, 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 and there. Then all of these snap into that. Alright. So now we have to go down under here. Put the rest of these lifts in. And alright, so all those lifts are in. Can I blow up these leaves just so they're not in the way? I think that works. Yeah, okay, I can see much better over here now. Alright, so we just put one of those guys in and attach it up to those three. Then we have more crash debris. Throw up more leaves. Get another splitter in there. Attach it to these three. And even more leaves need to go. They really are everywhere. Alright, then these go in. 1, 2, 3, done. And then we get these. 1, 2, and 3, and then that is the extra half. Alright, now we just need to connect everything up to those. So we have our coal belts over here. Which are 260 there and 240 here. So this one is 240, which means let's just take this back to here instead of going on the foundation like a normal sensible belt. Going to sneak around under. And be a ceiling belt. And we swim over here. And keep bringing this ceiling belt along. Then we need to split it somewhere like there. And so that gets 120. That gets 120. Alright, so that should be fine then. And that's like, what, half of these machines done? Wait, this is stupid. Why would I do it there? It's going to be substantially better to split those two together with this one. So you can come over here. And then split. And those two get Mark II belts each, which fill all of those up. Cool. Now, we take the other one, this one, and do basically the same thing with it. Send it under. And we swim over here. Doing a bit of swimming. Alright, so now we need a splitter somewhere around there. And sure, that's fine. Actually, it's not fine. This actually does need to be specifically facing that way. So you get a Mark II belt. You get a Mark II belt. You get a Mark I belt. And we make you a smart splitter, which is left, overflow, center, and right. Alright, now we just need to hook that up to that. Alright, so that is the coal attached. And it's flowing along, everything's looking normal. Some of it is even going over that way. So that's all good. Now we need to do the iron. So we need to move 500 iron ingots into these. And it's going to be the same thing, right? 40 apiece. So this is the special overflow one, which only makes 30. Then we have a splitter there, which feeds into those three. And it gets a splitter off of it, Mark II belt, and a Mark I belt that way. So that is a total of 140, right? 20 there, 120 there. Okay, how do we get that set up so that that works properly? We need to... We can take 50 there, and then 30, 60, 90, and then send that into here, and that works out to 140. And then as long as this is a smart splitter with priority right, center overflow, and we do need to be a little bit as cramped as possible. Alright. I have no confidence that that worked. It did. But I think when I say as cramped as possible, we can have that much space, right? Alright. Don't do that. Go into the thing right in front of you. So then that... We just need to... That's 50, 80, 110, 140. So these all go forward. And I don't know when exactly they need to start being Mark IIIs, but I have no shortage, so I'm just going to say from the very beginning. And that goes out there. So that is that setup. Then we need a batch of 240 for these next couple. So that is easy enough. 2, 3, 4. Alright, some of these have more space between them than others. So that's 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240. Alright, then we connect all of these up. And okay, that is not lined up right. I should have lined it up right so that it works. Alright, then all of these become Mark III belts. And that's 30, 60. Yeah, well, it's all of that minus the last one, which is this is 270, so that makes it 240. Alright, so then we take it over there and we split it. So now we have 120 that way, 120 that way. Why is there a guy in here? I built too close to the ground. Alright. Bro, could you, like, leave? Thank you. Alright. There we go. We've caused him to leave, and that's the first time I've ever killed a spitter. That's
Samples
fun.
of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth,
this
and
to
only
actually
turns
be
volatile when
there,
exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
Alright, so then this splits out among these three and gets Mark II belt with left any center, not AI limiter, overflow. Alright, so that is that. So that's 240, that's 120, that's 120. Then we take this along until we hit another splitter, which isn't actually necessary. This is not going to be splitting to anything, but it will at least make the corner nice. Alright, so then that is another batch of those set up. And then finally we need to do those the last 120 over there, and we'll be done. As for how I'm going to get that over there without messing with all of this, we're just going to have to see. Also, did I count right? 30, 60, 90, 120. Yes, good. Fantastic. I love it when I count and the numbers come out to be the numbers I am expecting to find. Always quite a relief. Now, I think this one has to come out this way. Actually using more than 2 spots on a merger for once. It's a rare day. Why would you do that? Why would you go straight through a merger? Alright, so we get all that. Alright, how do we get over there? Keep in mind, I want to save this space for copper and caterium production. So we could go all the way around, I guess. Like, just take this. And just do this. And then come along around here. Just keep this elevated slightly so I can go over all of this stuff, but obviously not so elevated that's going to cause problems with logistics floors or anything. That would be quite hard to do, honestly. Alright, so then it's in the area. And then it just goes down into that. And boom, boom, boom. Done. Alright. Steel production complete. Then we're just going to have to worry about how to get all of the steel into stuff. We don't have that much space behind this. But before we do that, I want to also get the copper and caterium production in, because we are going to have to work around all of that at the same time. Alright, so my math tells me I need 186.667 copper ingots, which is a very interesting number. And we're just going to blow up some trees. And grab some more nobelisks. Because So we're probably going to have to do even more tree blowing up in the future. Alright, there's a power pole there, which is unfortunately possibly going to be in the way of everything. Alright, so copper ingots is 30 a minute. So 186 divided by 30 is 6.2. That's nice and simple. I love small numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get rid of a tree real quick. And dismantle some crash debris that's sticking through the floor. And was this 6 or 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Ah, not constructors. Smelters. Obviously, we're smelting. So all of this goes away. That's actually kind of convenient because these are even smaller. We'll have even more space. And I think I want to push them relatively close. So we need... no, not power line. Smelter. So we need to set up the speed balancer for these. So we get a splitter, which goes into those two. And we have a smart splitter, which goes into it. Does Mark 1 belt, right any, center overflow, done. Then we take that out and where did it go? Back there. Then we send that into that. Alright, so we need to move this power pole. Should be relatively easy. We can just stick it like there. And power that on. And then it also has to attach over here somewhere. I actually have no idea what it's supposed to attach into. We probably should be worrying about power pole related shenanigans later, but let's just say it's like that. Alright, so we have that. And that's 4, 5, 6. One extra. Alright, now we just put all of these in. So these go in every other, and they split from 60 down to 30 each. Then we put in the smart splitters. There and there. And those make sure that these get exactly 60 each. Then we run the main belt across. And then into this extra special weird one, which makes... Well, those are going to make 180, so I think this has to make 6.6667. Alright, so that is copper done. Oh wait, I have to set these. So I set that one, so we just copy, paste, and paste. Alright, so that is that. Copper is set up. And then the Caterium. Blow up an additional tree or two. You. Literally every tree except the one I was aiming for. Fantastic. Alright, then we have Caterium ore, which is 45 to 15. We need 46, so that's 3 and 1. Which is actually annoying, because we can't... Actually, we might be able to mess with the inputs. So what if we set that to 10? Then it would be 30 each, and we would have 5, right? Yeah, so that would work quite nicely. So let's just grab a smelter. Bring you over there, have plenty of space. Set you to Caterium. 10 a minute. 10, 20, 30, 40. One extra, which is 6.6667. And then we have to set up the same thing here. So we get a splitter every other, which is just those two in this case. Then these go there and there, making those all line up. And then we have the smart splitter. That's facing the wrong way, isn't it? Yes, it is. Smart splitter, smart splitter. Then that, and that. And that, and that. And then we just have to bring the Caterium into that. Which obviously won't be over there. Where is the Caterium that's back here? Barely sneaking under another random belt. Gonna do that again. And finally up into there. Alright, resources have been processed. Now we need to make these smart splitters in order for them to work properly. And then paste the settings along. Alright. So now we have steel, we have copper barely, and we have Caterium. We just need to figure out how to split all of these guys up the next couple of floors. And we can send the limestone back. We don't need that. Alright, so we have all of this. Now we need to do logistics floor stuff, I guess. And we're gonna have to figure out... So these are all in lines, right? So we can basically split them up however is most convenient. So now we have to figure out which way would be most convenient. And when I say however is most convenient, I mean like as long as it's relatively even ratios of the outputs of the machines. Or we could just do like proper large-scale balancing, which would be unique. Alright, so we head up here. And let's start with the steel first. Or no, let's start with the wire first because it's lower down. So, copper and Caterium need to be set up in this awkward alternating pattern where it's 12 copper and 3 Caterium per machine. And there's what, 6 machines here So that's 72 copper and 18 deuterium in this batch, and then more over here. Why are you not connected to anything? So you get 3. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're just supposed to be... You're just supposed to be in there, I think. You get 3, then you get 3, then you get 1. Alright. So. All of these are set to 3 deuterium except for this one, which is a weird, horrible number. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Yeah, it's weird. Well, we can actually just work backwards, right? So this one is 2.667. So all of those combined are 42 deuterium. And 42 divided by 3 is 14. Which means there are 14 machines at full capacity, using 3 each. So we could do the old classic 1 to 14 balancer, which sounds abysmal. I've never done even 1 to 7, much less 2 of them side by side. Or we could try to send them more direct. So let's see. So these come in batches of... Okay, that one's a special one, actually. So that one needs 2. So wait, that's different then. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, plus 18, right? 24 plus 18 is 42. Okay, yeah, no. I did the math wrong, but I got the right answer somehow. Alright. So we have these batches of 3. Is there a convenient way to turn these down here into batches of 3? Where even are you guys? So you output in batches of 10. So if I merge 3 of these up together, that's 30. And if I split the 30 1 to 10, then those are batches of 3. And that sounds like the worst thing you could ever possibly do. And it really would not solve the problem at all. Because then I would have, what, 12 left, and have to do all that nonsense. Alright. I'm not figuring out how to do the deuterium aside from a 1 to 14 balancer, which is interesting. So I guess we're just going to do a 1 to 14 balancer. I think that's what this has come to. So we have this floor here, right, to do logistics on. Yeah. Alright. And that row back there is all of that stuff. So let's do this. But even if we do the 1 to 14 balancer, then that just gets rid of 42 of it, and then we still have to do the 4.667, which is still not trivial to even like set up for that to work. How on earth? Is there any way of like consolidating the weirdness at all? I could, oh, here's something I could do, is I could mess with the rates on these. So if I make these, like instead of 10, if I make these 9, then they'll take 27 per minute, which technically means it breaks my load balancing. However, I can solve that by just putting in more Caterium ore than I need, and I'm nowhere near belt limits, so that should be fine. So let's make these all 9. So these all do that. And then that's 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've lost that way. So this needs to be... Alright, then we need to think. So we have a 2 and a 0.6667. So that's 9, 18, 27. 9, 18, 27, 36. Those are all the 9s that we need, right? And then we need another... What are the weird ratios up here? There's lots of 3s, which we can solve with like 9s and 6s, right? Can I take this ladder up real quick? So we have a 2 there, which we can easily solve just by having a machine that makes 2. There are 2.667 there. So we have 4.667 total that we can just account for with specialty machines, which means we have 42 left over, which is 4 times 9 plus 6. Yeah, so let's do it that way. So we have 4 times 9. Then you are 6. And we get 2 of these fun little guys. And this one is going to be 2. And this one is going to be 2.6667. And then for the balancing here, there's not going to be any good way of doing this right. We're just going to have to brute force it, pretty much. So we just get another splitter in there. And I guess we just manifold this. Kind of hate to see it, but that doesn't even need to be that way. So that. And we simply manifold. And as long as we just power those on first, that'll be fine. It's not elegant by any means. There's a lot wrong with this setup, but we have more than enough Caterium input, so it should be fine. The manifolds are only really a huge issue when you don't have extra input to work with, which we do. Alright, so that is all that. Now we just need to hook this caterium up. Also, we need to make sure not to trap ourselves with the copper, which we shouldn't be in too much danger of doing, but it's good to keep an eye out for that. So now we send all of these up to like their specific individual machines. And the last one is 2, that one's 2.667, and then that's 6, and then the rest are all normal. So let's go over here. This one is 2. So that comes down there. And it gets fed from that one. So let's bring that across. And put ceiling hole in. And bring you up. Alright, now we need to get out from directly under that so we can ladder up. Oop, I missed. Alright, so this is 2, and it just goes over this way. And in there. So that's that. Then the next one is the other weird one, the 2.6667. Which is this one. Which, actually, did I even do that right? Did I like hook that up to the output or something? No. Alright, so we just need to head all the way over here, and it is this one, the second from the end. Technically the one right on the end would work too, but I don't want to... I want to keep them nice and distributed evenly. So that's 2.6667, and it's going to run all the way along the back there. Alright, so then that goes there, comes down, and in. Then we climb on up. Alright, now this has to sort of make its way around that way, over that way. And then around back here. Leave some space back there in case we need it for something else. Then we want this to be facing out. So we put that there. And that goes the rest of the way in. Alright. Then we have these two, which are the 6. And we split. So we split those. And then all the rest of these are going to be batches of 9. So that goes there. I don't know why straight mode is not cooperating with me there. Alright, we need to just drag... Oh, wait, this isn't every input, is it? It's not, no. Right, because half of these are copper inputs. which means I need to tear all this stuff down. Pay more attention to what I'm doing. So half of these are copper inputs, which means we both need to not use them, and we need to leave them available to be set up. So let's drag all of these down. Now, how much space is there directly underneath this? Virtually none. The answer is virtually none. But if I were to just, do something like that, could I reach down here and set it up like there? Yes, technically, but not there. So that's not an option. Which means we're going to need to do some vertical shenanigans on this floor, which is fine. Alright, so it just means we need to leave some space for things to go up and down. So that is the 6, and it gets those two. Then we need to collect up that one, and that one, and that one. So we go there, there, and there. Then we go that one in and grab that one, and that one. And then we have that one which we're already dealing with, and this one which somehow wound up a dismantle crate somehow. Yeah, so now every other one of these has a belt, which means we just need to get these up there. Alright, so that one is the 6, so it needs to go into the next nearest one. And let's just run all of these in while we're here. It's faster to do it like this. Fall off the edge. Then you drag all of these down. And connect all of these across. Alright, so we have the 2 special ones, then we have the 6, and there's a belt right there. Of course there is. Gotta move the ladder. Just ever so slightly over. Now we can climb up here. Alright, and obviously we need to adjust the way that these travel. Alright, I have all this random ore in my inventory from deconstructing things. Let's clear all of that out so that I don't leave dismantle crates everywhere. Alright, so then these need to go... all need to go out, except for probably a couple of them which are going to have to go the other way, which we will figure out later. Alright. So we get that in. And then that can go out that way. then this goes out that way. And assuming I haven't messed up the order, which I very well might have, then that should work. And hopefully will also just be enough space. Alright. I think having these as straight belts looks kind of nice, but is ultimately just like horrifically inefficient. Let's swap to curves. Alright, so that goes there. Then we have this one, which doesn't clip. These curves don't do anything weird. And then a little bit further and in. Alright, so then we have to bring the remaining two of these over to wherever those are. So let's get another ladder here. There's another couple machines over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. There's another couple machines over here. And so it's going to be these. Yeah, these ones in the middle. We need to give Caterium. But it's going to be hard to tell. It's these batches of 2, right? Yeah, definitely these batches of 2. Alright, so then these all come down like that. These all come down like that. That one went slightly too far down. And one more. Now we just head over here and pop these into those. So this faces that way. You just go default mode. And somewhere like that, where we split. Get the orientation just right. And then it goes into that, that, and that. And done. Then we take this one, which comes around here. And we want this to be nice and split like that. And it goes there, there, and there. Alright. Caterium done. So next up is copper, which I suspect we're probably just going to have to do basically the same thing. So these get made in batches of 30, and they get used in batches of 12. So actually, let's see, 60 divided by 12 is 5. So we can do some stuff to make that better, which is going to require bunch of 5-piece combos. So we need to take 5 of these, merge them up, and that's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2. So there's 10 there, there's 6 here, but some of them are weird. So that's also worth noting. So let's check the weird ones first, and we have 8 there. Then this other one is going to have something 0.667, 10.667. And there was another... No, there wasn't another slightly weird one. All the rest of these are standard. So we have some more weird, confusing splitting to do. And how are we going to even do that? I think we... Well, the problem is we have like a nice belt of this, right? So this is 6.667. Which is the only weirdness about all of the rest of this. The rest of these are all nice and normal. Batches of 30. Alright, is there any way we can combine these that would make them nicer? So we have 8 here, right? And 12 here, so we could like merge those into like a 20. But then I don't even know what we do with that, aside from just having it. Like, I don't even know what good having that balanced out does. And we have a really nice speed balancing setup on the copper that I don't want to break. So I don't want to like do the whole weird special case things. Also, the copper is a little bit more intensively needed. So how do we do this? How do we do this? Yeah, this is the problem. I think the next factory I build, I'm going to start working from the front back and see if that solves the problems. Hopefully working that way does. But let's see. Do we just manifold this? We might just manifold this. It's like extremely annoying to have this be the way that it is. I really don't want to manifold it though. I really want to find some solution. Let me just sit and think for a bit. Also, it's really hot in my room for now. I don't know why. So we have 8 plus 12 plus 12. Are any of these numbers that can be easily made? No, because of the whole 5s situation. So it pretty much has to be like a 1 to 5 thing that I do here, where I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get them all set up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get them all set up. Then I have 2 special cases and 4 normal ones left. Which I don't know what to do with that. I do not know what to do about that. So the 2 special cases I can just... No, I can't. So they are 10.6667 here and 8. So I could get 8 technically with speed throttling. I have no idea how to get 10.667 aside from just it being the overflow. Okay, how do I make a speed throttler for 12? Because if I can make a speed throttler for 12, suddenly all of my problems go away. And it is just like... And it's literally just a 1 to 5, isn't it? So how compact can I make a 1 to 5? So we have that, which splits into... God, how am I forgetting how... I have one of these. I literally have one. 1 to 5 balancer. So, in order to make this a speed throttler, I would just take 4 of these and send them back to the beginning. And this is not the most compact thing in the world, but it's like manageable, right? Alright, let's... So we can get 2 of these in, right? And then have... Oh, actually, is there... There's a better way, right? So there's going to be 4 special cases left. 4 normal ones left. So I could just make a 60 to 48 throttler, which would just be this with one of them sent back in. And deal with those 4 deal with those 4. And then we're just left with the 8 and the 10.6. And the 8 can have its own unique throttler. So 60 divided by 8 is 7.5. That's an obnoxious number. So we would go, what, 60 to... Let's see. Let me think. 8 is double 4, which is double 2. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 6 is 30. Nah, I don't know. If it's just the 8 and the 10... No, but that's actually just like the worst possible thing to manifold, is the problem. Because if we manifold those, they're relatively close together, and it's just going to take hours for them to fill up. Unless I just do smart splitters. I could just do smart splitters for that. I don't want to do manifolds, though. Manifolds are so lame. So, how do we go 7.5x slowdown? Well, you get to 2.5x slowdown, and you multiply it by 3. How do you go 2.5x slowdown? You go 5x slowdown, and make it twice as fast. Okay. So if we had something like this, So this splits 60 into bunches of 12. We take 2 of those bunches of 12, which makes 24. Then we split that into 3, take 1 of them, and it's 8. Alright. I think we've figured out what we're doing, broadly speaking. Now we need to actually build all this nonsense somewhere here. Alright, we need to just make this default build mode. We need all the space we can get. So let's move these belts around. And that comes out like that. Don't worry about that belt. We're going to be removing it and replacing it soon as well. Alright, then that comes down along that way. And along there. Then we take that belt out. That goes in that. Now we have all of this nice space here. So we go 1 to 5 balancer. So we get that, and we would need to put in 2 of the copper inputs into this. But in the meantime, we get you up over all of those belts and down in there. Then you go up over all of those and down in there. Then you go over those and down in there. Wait. These first 2 are the special ones, which I am not doing this way. So we need to just like shift all of these over 1. So that connects to that one. That second one connects to that one. Then this one up and over there. That's 3. Then let's get rid of some of that stuff. Then this comes up over here. Wait, we missed one. Not that it's a huge deal, but that goes into there. That's 4. Finally, number 5 comes around over here and in there. Alright, so the first great spaghetti monster has been constructed. And we leave that special one out. Then the second one, which goes in here, let's say. And it needs to connect into all of these, which I wonder if we can actually just leave these on the ceiling. So these all go up there. Then this comes out there and up there. This one goes up there. That one goes there. And there. and there. Alright, so now we have one normal one left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 normal ones left, and 2 special ones. Alright, so now for the 4 normal ones left, we need another spaghetti monster, I think. How are we doing this? Right, we were just bringing one of the things back in. So we get one of these. And it just goes in somewhere. Then we get a priority merger. And this one just priorities back in. And is that actually right? Is that actually correct? I think it isn't. So if we do that, then if we have 60 going through here, then we would get 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. And so if that's 10, that would be 80 going through here, and only 4 coming out. Alright, how do we do this? I can't remember. I cannot remember how this is done. So I should be able to send this back in like this, somehow like this. That makes it work. Alright, so that... Oh, does that have to be 60? Yes, that has to be 60. So this is always 60 running through, which means that this always splits this into 5, and one of those 5 always goes back. Alright. We remembered how we do this. Alright, now we have to take this stuff over and actually use it properly. So that comes along and down there. And that comes along a little further down there. And, oh wait, we missed one. I'm wondering why the numbers weren't lining up. That goes there. Then these go along a little bit more. And along that way. And down into that. And then we finally have this one, which sneaks along this way. My gosh, we have so much more to do after this as well. We have to do the steel. I wonder if there's anything I can do to simplify the steel setup. Alright, then that goes in there. Alright, so then that is all of the regular copper supply distributed. All the regular copper supply has been distributed. Now we need the special ones. Also, we need to hook these up. And there's, what, 3 of them? And they need 60, 60, and 48. That could be a problem. Can I just put floor holes right by where they are so I can see where I'm trying to get to? That would be helpful. Alright, so you get to go in there. And I think we have to shift that just slightly over. And like that. So you go in there. And then we put this one in. Alright, so now we just need to get this one 48 and those two 60. And we can use overflows to get the 48 working properly. This feels wrong. Is that really the ones? Is there one back there? Yeah, no, there is. That makes sense. All right, so we go here. We pop in a merger. You get that. You get that. Up you go. And actually, I think you want to go over to this one. So you go up there. And over to that. That gets a nice solid 60. Then we have to do the same thing again. No, not that. Is that right? Are there really that many of these? I feel like I'm making a mistake here. I'm attaching this up to something it's not supposed to be attached to. I'm going to confirm real quick. So let's ladder on up, or even better, just climb the smelters. Or even better, apparently fail to climb the smelters. Alright, let's ladder on up. Ladder, and up we go. So there's one there, which I've accounted for, one here, and one. There definitely isn't one all the way back there, is there? What is that connecting to? Okay, is my sense of direction just horribly off? That is much further that way than I thought it was. So yeah, that's definitely that. And then there's this one, which is right there, which is the 48, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, the 1, 2, and then that one. Alright, so then we just take this. So we need, this one's going to be a lot harder actually. So we merge these 3 up. Actually, wait, no, we have to... No, yeah, we merge these 3 up. That's step 1. Don't do weird, insane nonsense like that. Why would it even connect it into itself? There's literally a 0% chance I want to do that. Alright, then that goes out. And that has to be marked 2. Alright. Then we need that to get its conveyor lift mark 1. And that has to go in there. This needs to be a smart splitter with left priority, center overflow. So now we will send however much we need that way, which is 48. And we will maintain however much we need over here, which is getting 66.667 minus 48, which genuinely, who knows? I certainly don't. Alright, let's then expand this out over here. And we need to do a little bit of special case stuff. So this floor extends out and continues extending out. I do actually need to put a floor hole on this. So that. And the floor hole needs to be like back there or so. It's always hard to get these lined up just right. That goes up. And we're going to say right overflow, because that's the one we ended up using. Then we pop another ladder in here. So we have some unknowable amount coming out of this. So first, we split it. And it's a smart splitter. So it is, this is going to have to be left any center overflow. So all of the excess from the load balancing situation I'm about to do goes over this way. And that'll be 10.667 because it's what we're going to have left. Then we need to get our 8 splitter, which I figured out how to do, but it's been a while since I've done it. So let's... I know it's based off of the trusty 1 to 5. And it's got a priority merger in front of it. So we have that. Then that belt is definitely going to be 60. Set the edges to medium and the center to low. So we, from what I recall, we take 24. So this is splitting it from 60 into 5 batches of 12. We are going to send, no, not back there, I think, back there. Sure, that's definitely going to be fast enough for what we're doing here, I think. So this is 60. Then this is going to be, what, 70 or something. And we have all these batches of 12. Now we take these 2. Yeah, we actually need another merger here. The good old pre-merge merger. So those go back. And one more. This one goes back. So now we have these two, which add up to 24. And we are going to just merge them up. Boom, boom. We have a belt of 24. Now, we take this belt of 24, we split it, and we're going to need even more space off to the side there. And we take 2 of the 3, and we are actually just going to merge them up here. That's convenient. So we take 2 of the 3, which is 16, and we send them back where they merge up with this. And that all goes in there. And finally, we are left with a glorious belt of 8. Which then comes over here. And goes along a little higher up there and down in there. Alright, that is that. And we've fallen off. Alright, copper. Done. I think. Pretty sure copper's done. So now we just need to do, I say just, we just need to do the steel, which is by quantity the largest. We have 750 of the stuff. And that's these ones over here, right? So yeah, we have 750 steel across all of these machines, and we need to figure out where it's going. And hopefully it is nice and convenient. I actually think it is going to be relatively convenient. So we go up here. Is it this floor? No, it's the floor above. Right, so this row is merged 2 into 1. This row is also merged 2 into 1. And then we go up here. And we have batches of 30 there. 30 there. So I think probably just all of these. Actually, let's confirm real quick. We have 12 and a half of. We have 12 and a half steel producers for a total of 750. We have these, which, let's actually get down to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and a half. 8 and a half, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half. Yes. So this should be trivial. This should be just literally connect one up to each and be done. Alright. So this row is going to be easy. These rows are going to be a bit of a problem just because of how logistics floor the rest of this stuff is. But even then, like, they're all on this side of it, right? So we just pop all of these guys in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these, we're going to have to extend this floor over there, but that is fine. Just go over here. And across you go. Alright, there's a Mr. Bean there. These ones can come down to the floor. There's no reason for them to be so high up. So down they go. And that one goes down too far. Alright. Now we need to just go over here and get these all brought up to the next floor. So let's extend this out. There's another spitter wandering around down there, which is mildly inconvenient. Alright, so now we should be able to just do this. So we get... Where's the optimal place for this to be? There. Yeah, that row should be good. No, wait. It's the most confusing place for it to possibly be. It's there. And that goes up and in. Yep. Alright, cool. And then there. And there. Boundaries are so weird. Why are they like this? Why can't they just be normal? Alright, so then all of these go in. And alright, I think I messed that last one up. Now all of these go up, and they're exactly 60, so this works out. Except for that one that's 30, which is fine. Who cares? Alright, so all of these go up. And I missed this one ever so slightly. And I missed it again in the different direction. There we go. We got it. Alright, now we just go up and just belt these across. The one half one has to go into the other half one. Other than that, it's just whichever is most convenient. Alright, so you go across here. And continue going across. And continue going across. And in. Technically, we could have turned that around to make it fit more nicely, but whatever. Alright, now we send that across. Let's bring all of these up. Gosh, if I figure out I've done the math wrong anywhere and this doesn't work, I'm going to be quite sad. Make sure the Caterium is a bit overclocked to begin with when we power this on as well. Just because that is technically manifolded. I mean, it's not even like manifolded, it's just weird. Alright, now we head back here. We grab this one. And we drag it along. And why would you do that? just go in normally. Thank you. Alright, now these last couple we can just send across the normal way. Not have to wrap around the back anymore. So you come across this way, and actually we need to make sure those swap which direction they're going so that they line up nicely. That goes there. Then this one comes along there. Alright, so that's that entire setup done. Now we just need to get these across into those 5. Have I done the math wrong? Why are there substantially more than 5 of these? Hello? What have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why do we have 2 spares? Where are the 2 spares coming from? Did I miss 2 of these somewhere? Did I miss some extras around here or something? What on earth have I done? Oh gosh. I'm gonna have to redo all the math. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's definitely 7 there. And 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Ah, I missed this one. That is part of it, at least. Alright, so grab that. Across you go. Cross over that. And in. Alright, now we have 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, and 5 there. What on earth have I done? Why is there a spare? 750 divided by 60 is 12.5. Is there something I need steel for that I've missed? Oh, what's that? What is that? No, that's just one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's just one of those. Alright, then these are just those belts. Is there any ceiling hole that didn't get carried down all the way? Maybe an extra one of those, or something along here. Something in the back, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna have to, I guess. Yeah, I actually have no idea how that happened. But surely somewhere along here there must be something that didn't get hooked up, right? Right? Let's check the steel requirements. Is that this floor, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so that is all of these. And that's all of those. And there's one of these making 20 steel pipes. Yeah, so there are 10 of these total, meaning we have 40 steel pipe, meaning we have 20 steel pipes per machine. Because there are these guys up here, which are 10 steel pipes. So we have 40 machines here. 20 steel pipes per row on rotors. And 30 per row on stators. So is there something wrong here? Did I count this wrong? So there are 20 machines there of, I've forgotten already, 15 pipes each, right? Stator is 15 pipes each. So this is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 240, 260, 280, 300. Alright, well, I've noticed an unrelated problem. Oh no, this does split off halfway as well. So it's 150 there, 150 there. Now if it's 300 steel pipes, then it should be 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, 3... I've lost count. Alright, what was it? 300 times 30 over 20. So this should be 450 steel ingots going into this. And maybe these last few machines didn't make the cut? Alright. Each of these splitters goes to 2, and they each go underground. So that's 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 450. So this all... the math is all working out, so where is the extra assembler coming from? Is it just purely a math error? This is 450, right? We figured that out. And then this, is this not 300? Or, yeah, is this not 300? It's 60, 120, 180, 240, 300. I'm losing my mind here. How is it that I'm able to reliably count up 750 steel ingots? I must be missing a belt. One of these must have not made it through. 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 400 something. 400, wait. 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420. But, alright, so we have lost a belt in here somewhere. But where? Oh, this last one. Yeah, okay, that obviously. It's just sitting here, not connected up to anything, like an idiot. Alright, so that hooks into that. Hello, Mr. Bean. Can you give me a boost up? Thank you. Very helpful of him. Alright, then this comes down through that. Alright, then this belt comes around over there. Where actually it's just going to go straight in. Then we just need one of these belts over here to head all the way back there. Because it's important that that particular belt go into it, because that is the half-strength belt. So that goes into there. And now, finally, we have 5 belts of steel ingots going into 5 belts of steel ingots. And we can just hook all of these up. And then this one goes up and over that. This is going to be impossible to debug, by the way. Just like absolutely a nightmare. Because they're all like crossing over each other, and this floor in particular is just the worst. Might be one of the most confusing logistics floors I've ever made. And that's saying something because I've made some monsters. Alright, one last connection. And done. Alright. That's everything. Now we accumulate the power poles and wire everything up. I don't know if we have enough power to even turn this thing on. We might have to leave it off and then run over to do more coal generation. Hopefully not. It'd be nice to be able to start. But there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of assemblers in this factory here. So I'm not holding my breath to be turning this factory on today. We're just going to hook the power lines up, see what it says. Alright, so that is all of those done. Now we have to go back here and attach all of these up. And this is very, very dense machinery here. Alright, so that is that whole row. Then we just have another 3 rows like it, and then the top floor will be done. So we get all of those. And place another power line. Grab some more. How is Mr. Bean up here? Alright. Power line. Power line. another row of assemblers all hooked up. Now we go to this one. And stop it. Don't do that. Get another row of assemblers all hooked up. And keep on going. Alright, that's that row. And there's every likelihood in the world that I've missed one, but that's for the debugging process to sort out. So all of these get attached up. And keep on placing. Alright. Alright. I believe that to be the entire top floor. And let's check. The top floor alone is 780 megawatts. Which I think might single-handedly be more than I can manage. I don't know that for certain. But it is a lot of assemblers. Alright, so let's power these constructors on. And I'm using tier 2 power lines by tier 1 power lines right now. In terms of how many things I'm connecting to them. But, you know, it's always good to have spare power lines with connections lying about that you can just use. It's definitely helpful. Alright, now we hook this row up. And place another one. Keep on attaching. The fun of this is you sort of get to survey all of the machines that you've placed in the whole factory as you go along. It'll help refresh you for when you do turn it on and you have to figure out where all the problems might be. Alright, just a couple more in this row. Alright, that is that row done, and I believe that floor done. Then that is a logistics floor, and then we go down to this one, which is, I believe, the last remotely neat and organized floor. I could have done so much more to offload some of the complexity onto this floor. But I didn't, so here we are. Alright, so now we power all of these machines up. This is the wire production. And hope I didn't forget any. Oh, I almost did. Just caught that. And then all of those look done. Alright, then we're down here. This is the Nightmare Logistics floor, of course. And now we just keep on hooking all this stuff up. Deuterium production connected. Next up is copper. Need to be really careful not to accidentally connect this to the power grid or we might crash. Alright, so that's all the copper. Next up we have the iron, which is, by the way, somewhat power inefficient because we have all these smelters. It's not really a huge deal, but we are probably... If this is going to have enough power to turn on at all, it's going to be on thin margins. So this might... Either this will be the difference breaker, or it won't be anywhere close. And we'll just be completely doomed. Alright. All of these go on. And then finally we have the steel production. Get on over here to the foundries. And all of these get attached up. And a couple more. Alright, be very careful. Do not attach to that power pole. We will all instantly die. Probably. Oh no, I haven't checked. You might be fine. Alright. And that is what I believe to be the last machine in the factory. And this now has a max consumption of 1500 megawatts. Now we head over to this, where we have current consumption of 3600, production of 4500. So if we were to turn this on, we would indeed trip the power grid. That's a shame. Alright, well, the good news is we have all this stuff. It's all powered on, ready to go as soon as we can just add another couple belts of coal to our power plant, which I think we will do that and the turning on of the factory next stream, because it is a bit late in the stream. So next stream we will build out even more coal power for, I think, the last time, right? Because we're going to get motors, and motors is going to unlock fuel power, and then finally we can make some decent headway in like getting ahead of this constant power drain problem. But yeah, so that will be next stream. We're going to be doing that, and then turning on the motor factory and seeing all of the fun and exciting ways in which it doesn't work. And yeah, that will be that. Thanks everyone for watching. Had a nice productive stream today. Lots of spaghetti belts here on the logistics floor, but that's what the logistics floor is for. And yeah, so let's see. Tomorrow we're going to be playing Foundry, where we are likewise finishing up a large factory project over there. We are making farmer bots on the assembly line. So we just have a little bit more to do there, and then that will be functional in that game. So if you're interested in that, make sure to step by there. Otherwise, we will be back here playing Satisfactory on Wednesday. So I stream every weekday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time, and I play various factory games, currently Satisfactory and Foundry. So if you're interested in anything like that, make sure to stop by then and follow if you haven't already, so that you can get notifications when I go live. That is about that. Thanks everyone.